Big news for the Las Vegas Raiders. They've just signed veteran safety Terrell Edmonds and are parting ways with wide receiver Seth Williams. Before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and ring the bell so you never miss the latest Raiders updates. Now let's get into it. Terrell Edmonds is no rookie. He's an experienced safety with 8 years in the NFL, having played in over 100 games. Most of his career was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he earned 79 starts. Edmonds also had stints with the Eagles, Titans, Jaguars, and even spent time on the Chargers practice squad last season. Standing 6'1" and weighing 217 pounds, Edmonds was a first-round pick, 28th overall, known for his physical style and solid tackling. He's racked up over 450 tackles in his career. He's also contributed in the postseason, proving he can step up when it counts. Just last week, the Raiders brought Edmonds in for a tryout alongside a few other defensive players. Among them, he clearly stood out. It makes sense why the Raiders moved quickly to bring him on board, adding depth and experience to their secondary as the season approaches. Bringing Terrell Edmonds on board isn't just about adding competition. It's about filling a key gap in the Raiders' defense. His skill set closely matches that of Lonnie Johnson, who's expected back around week 4 or 5 after recovering from injury. Since Johnson will likely be placed on injured reserve, Edmonds provides crucial depth and flexibility in the secondary right now. Edmonds is known for his versatility. He's a strong safety who can play near the box almost like a linebacker, exactly the kind of player the Raiders value. This signing isn't just random. There's probably a coaching connection behind it, which often plays a big role in these moves. Right now, the Raiders' defense is clearly in need of reinforcements. The defensive tackle position is thin, and the secondary needs more reliable bodies as the regular season heats up. Adding Edmonds gives the Raiders more options and toughness heading into one of their biggest upcoming challenges, their Saturday matchup against the 49ers. With joint practices scheduled and a fierce rivalry on the horizon, the Raiders are preparing for a physical battle. Edmonds is exactly the kind of player who thrives in that environment and could be a key factor in strengthening the defense when it matters most. Terrell Edmonds might not be the explosive athlete he was when he first entered the league as a first-round pick, but he still brings valuable experience and reliability to the Raiders' secondary. He's a solid player who adds depth and, most importantly, competition, something this defense desperately needs right now. On the flip side, the Raiders waived injured wide receiver Seth Williams, showing they feel confident with the talent already in their receiving core. So, the focus here is clear. This move is all about strengthening the defense. Edmonds hasn't started much in recent seasons, only a handful of games over the past 2 years, but whenever he's been called upon, he's delivered respectable performances. According to Pro Football Focus, last season he played 69 snaps with a solid overall grade above 70, showing especially strong run defense skills. The year before, his numbers were slightly lower but still dependable. What the Raiders need most is consistency, players who step up and do their jobs well when asked. Edmonds fits that mold perfectly. In a defense that's still trying to find its footing, having someone reliable like him could be the difference between holding the line and giving up critical plays. Now, here's where things get interesting. There's likely more behind this signing than just on-field needs. A name that often comes up in Raiders personnel decisions is Brandon Hunt, the team's vice president of player personnel. Hunt's background might help explain why Terrell Edmonds landed here. Brandon Hunt spent over a decade with the Pittsburgh Steelers as their pro scouting coordinator before joining the Raiders. Edmonds, of course, spent the early and most productive years of his career with the Steelers. That shared history and familiarity could have played a major role in bringing Edmonds to Las Vegas. Raiders management clearly values strong relationships and trusted coaching connections when making moves. Hunt's deep knowledge of Steelers players and style, combined with his scouting expertise, probably influenced this decision. It's no surprise that a player like Edmonds, whose best years were in Pittsburgh, fits well into what the Raiders want to build. This move also reminds us of another recent Raiders acquisition, Jamal Adams, who is expected to be a key defensive starter this season. The Raiders are focused on blending experience and talent through smart personnel choices. Edmonds fits perfectly into that plan. Jamal Adams may not have a locked-in starting spot just yet, but all signs point to him becoming one of the Raiders' top defenders this season. From what's been seen in training camp, the Raiders' mock game, and preseason action, Adams is steadily earning his place in the silver and black starting lineup. It's possible the Raiders see a similar potential in Terrell Edmonds, someone who might not start immediately but can quickly become a key contributor on defense. Before we wrap up, here's some inside scoop from Raiders training camp practice today. Plus, a unique opportunity is coming up. A close friend and loyal Raiders fan will be dining with Raiders owner Mark Davis, GM Dave Ziegler, and coach Josh McDaniels. We'll be prepping questions to ask them. And now, I want to hear from you. If you had one question to ask the Raiders' top brass, what would it be? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your questions because soon, my friend will be having dinner with Raiders owner Mark Davis, GM Dave Ziegler, and head coach Josh McDaniels. They'll get the chance to ask a few important questions, and I'll be helping pick the best ones. It's a rare opportunity, and I'm excited to see what we can learn from that conversation. Now, shifting gears to today's Raiders training camp updates. There are a few injury concerns, but nothing too alarming so far. Jalen JPJ Johnson is dealing with a rib issue, but head coach Josh McDaniels says it's minor. Offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood is also nursing a rib injury, which has kept him out for about a week. It looks like JPJ is getting more reps at right guard to help cover for Leatherwood's absence. Antonio Mafi stepped up today, playing right guard with the first team, while Jared Hufford got some work with the backups. The offensive line is dealing with some bumps and bruises, but the team is adapting. On the defensive side, Adam Butler missed practice due to a personal matter. However, defensive tackle Tonka Hemingway took first-team reps, showing the Raiders are testing their depth up front as they prepare for the season. The Raiders are mixing things up on the defensive line, giving Tonka Hemingway reps at both defensive end and tackle. Tank Booker is getting first-team snaps at nose tackle, showing why the team values his size and strength, especially after some recent struggles from players like John Lala. With Lucky Fu sidelined in a walking boot and Adam Butler missing practice for personal reasons, Booker and Hemingway are stepping up to fill the gaps. There was even a little intensity at practice today. Max Crosby got physical, throwing some punches during a scuffle, showing the competitive fire the Raiders need. Jamal Adams continues to impress with first-team reps, reinforcing his role as a defensive starter. Rookie tight end Carter Renan, an undrafted free agent wearing number 46, also had a strong practice alongside Tommy Mallet, who is making solid progress. This quick update reflects just how the Raiders are adapting and pushing forward as the season approaches. It's clear the team is focused on building depth and toughness, with new additions like Terrell Edmonds ready to contribute right away. Stay tuned. There are more updates coming soon as training camp continues to unfold. The Silver and Black Nation will be watching closely to see how Edmonds and the rest of the roster step up this week.